Hello, 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 hello. What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Happy Podcast Wednesday. It's SW Live, and of course, I'm always happy to be here with you all. And it's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. It's time, y'all. Get them bills paid. Do everything you need to do so you can have a lovely month because ain't nothing going nowhere. You gotta pay to have a life in the United States. You gotta pay them bills. All right. What's up though? How y'all doing? What's happening? Who with me today? Tap in, show your face when it's time. I want to see who online. That was a rhyme, Jay. All right. So first and foremost, welcome. Welcome to a brand new show. Welcome to SW Live. Welcome to Shelby. And today we're going to have a conversation about in other news, and we're going to talk about a couple things that's been going on around the world that it's not just going to be black related today, but I do want y'all to know that some of it is, and we're going to have a conversation about some of the things that are affecting us about that particular scenarios or whatever that particular situation that happened. And but first and foremost, let's talk about the quote of the day. The quote of the day. The greatest challenge to any thinker is stating the problem in a way that will allow a solution. And I think that a lot of times when people have issues or have a problem, they fail to seek solutions. They just want to state their problems, but they don't want the help to change for them so they can get provide a solution to their situation. Think about that though. Like if you state that, okay, that you have an issue going on and there's something going on that you want to actually work on, right? But you're not willing to accept someone giving you a solution to the problem. Does that mean that you want to continue to deal with the challenge, or you're willing to actually seek a founded answer? And a lot of times people don't want that. They talk a good game. They act as if that they want to figure it out, but then it seems to me that it's more about the complaining process, and I'd rather just get it off my chest, or I'm just saying it because I want to get it off my chest. I'm really not looking for a solution. And that's a lot of, we will run into that on a lot of occasions. So I do want to at least point that out so you'll know that we want to work on solutions. We don't want to just state the problem and wait for somebody else to give us a solution. If it's not going to be meaningful to us, be willing to work toward a solution with whoever you're telling your problem to. Okay. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of situations with people, is that a lot of people are not worried about solutions. They want to they want to complain. They want to constantly put out there that this is going on in their life, that this is happening, but nobody wants to get a solution. And if you want to actually come up with a solution or have a solution given to you, don't always argue with the person that's giving you this remedy. It may not be the remedy that works best for you, but it's still a remedy. So you can either just take it and be like, okay, I want to deal with this, or I want to bring this into my mind, my hindsight, but not actually utilize it. And if that's the case, fine. But because you don't have to take everybody's responses or their answers and think that it benefits you. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So that's all I'm saying. Be willing to allow a solution to be given to you or shown to you, so that you're okay with seeing if it'll maturate and work for you. Okay. The greatest challenge to any thinker is stating the problem in a way that will allow a solution. And I'm big on solutions. I definitely want to always be able to say that, yes, I had this problem, but this is what I did to solve it. Or yes, this presented an issue for me, but I was okay with solving it. Like I want to be that person that always sees the glass half full versus half empty. No matter what I'm going through, I always want to be that person. And I'm pretty much like that. I don't allow a problem to maturate to where it's going to sit and then I don't have a way to deal with it, or say, oh, this ain't gonna work for me, or you know what I'm saying? I think that we need to always think about there being a different outcome than what we're used to things being. I really do. I think that that's purposeful. I think that it'll help you. I think that you'll gain some retraction and some knowledge from it. I think that you'll always be able to say, I did this because I wanted to figure this out, not just because this was beating me down and I had nowhere to go. You gotta know that there's a way to fix something. Everything ain't always destruction. Everything isn't always something that can't be fixed. You have to know that there are ways to get these things taken care of. And I just want to remind you or remind the listening audience that there are always going to be times where things sit on your chest and make you feel like it's hard and it's impossible. It's always going to be something that happens that make you question whether or not you can figure it out or not. But always remember that there is somebody else that has probably went through what you've been through that has the answer to what they did, and you may be able to utilize it and make it work for you. But never come in with the negative mindset of I can't do this, or this challenge too strong for me, or I don't want a person to help me, or anything like that. Just make sure you keep your mindset on solving and reciprocating the situation. Okay. All right. So again, the greatest challenge to any thinker is stating the problem in a way that will allow a solution. All right. Today, y'all, I'm talking about some topics that were happening in America in certain areas in Florida, New York. I believe the other one happened inside of no, it was North Dakota. People are losing their minds. People losing their minds, y'all. This it's a lot going on in our it's a lot going on in our country, and people are literally losing their minds. They are not dealing with things on a professional level. They are handing down their what is it, they're doing things that are causing more friction to their lives than help. They're hurting other people. They're trying to find a way to connive, manipulate, steal. It's a lot going on, and I'm really stoked because I'm seeing this, and my thing and what I'm learning is that if I'm noticing this, if I'm noticing the things that are happening in our country, a lot of other people are. So we got to be more equipped with wanting to deal with um things and actually solving them. That's all I'm saying. We got to be willing to be open to making sure that what we're putting out there is going to get a good response. We got to be willing to put that out there, right? Good stuff into the atmosphere. NASA Ty here. What's going on? How you doing, Miss Ipa? Mr. Ipa? Um, but we do have to be in a position to where we're open to receiving, to where we're open to give, and where we're open to sit up and be able to have conversations about how we could do both. Okay. The first topic at hand is this was a huge one for me, and I wanted, the reason why I thought this was one to actually discuss was because um it's no longer, you know how we used to say, you know how we used to be like, that's something that white people would do. It's not. A lot of the things that are coming out now are not just um white people things anymore, y'all. This it's like everybody just coming gravitating toward negativity now. You know what I'm saying? We got a man in North Dakota who was poisoned to death um because his longtime girlfriend felt like he wasn't honest with her about an inheritance. Listen to this. A woman allegedly poisoned her boyfriend to death After finding out, he received a $30 million inheritance and planned to break up with her. So now here he go playing with this lady, knowing that everybody ain't rap tight. And he probably thought he knew her in such a way that this couldn't have happened to him. But baby, you tried it, because this lady went on a spree. Okay. She okay, so Stephen Riley Jr., 51, fell ill when he met with his lawyer to retrieve his money on September 3rd, according to Minot Police Department records. The next day, his girlfriend, Ina Kinoya, who's 47, called 911 and paramedics discovered Riley unresponsive. Riley was taken to Trinity Hospital and was then transferred and died the following day at Bismarck Hospital. Kinoa told investigators that she was entitled to some of his money because she was his common law wife. She added that she planned to split the funds with her son, according to the records. A common law marriage is when a couple live together as husband and wife without obtaining a marriage license or ceremony. North Dakota does not recognize common law marriages. So that's where she started off first. She should have learned how this was going to happen before she decided to go pull such an evil stunt. You decided to go and do something so tragic that took that man's life, and you ain't even entitled to nothing. $30 million is what she thought that her and her son was about to go and live off of after she killed that man. Riley's autopsy indicated that he died of poisoning, according to the police department, and investigators believe that Kinoya had financial motives to murder Riley. The police department stated they arrested Kinova on Monday and charged her with killing Riley through poisoning. The AA felony murder charge he faces is the most serious of its kind in North Dakota. Nobody has ever done anything so ratchet in North Dakota before. What do y'all think about that? Do you think that just because they have been together so long that she is entitled to some of the money, even if North Dakota, say for instance, North Dakota did recognize a common law marriage? Do you think that it's okay for you to go through these extents? Why didn't you just wait to see what he was going to do? Like, what would make you think it's okay? What would make you think it's okay to poison this man, as if they're not, like, autopsies reveal everything. It blew me for me to see someone thinking that they were going to get away with this type of murder. You literally thought that you were going to lay up there and get all this money, and his man family don't get nothing, nobody else don't get nothing. You just thought that you were entitled to it, and for the reasons is because of a common law situation. You could have talked to this man about this. Y'all could have had a conversation, but like I said, you felt he was about to break up with you because he got such a large inheritance. So you weren't willing to see what the situation was going to bring for you. You wanted to go ahead and get rid of this man, so thinking that you was about to get all this money. You thought you was about to get all this money. You really thought that these people was about to sit up there and grant you this man's $30 million inheritance that he just found out he had and give it to you and your son? That's what you thought? Now, these are white people right here that did this now. But the point is that it's no longer something that, like, people doing this now. Because we saw back, in 2021 or through that 2020, where a man found out, a black man in Jamaica, where his wife found out that all 6 of his kids were not his kids. And he killed her. Took her right on off the block. So we got to stop thinking. We got to stop thinking more with our own selfish thoughts and start, like, why are you really with somebody that you feel like you can murder? This stuff is not just like yesterday. I'm telling you, these things are happening on a regular basis. People are not, they thinking that they can just do everything. They thinking that they can knock a person off and it ain't gonna come back on them. Everybody, every dog has his day. So when you think that it's okay for you to kill somebody based on the fact that you think that you're entitled to some money, bro, that's that's pretty deep for me. That's something that I'm looking at like that. When I was reading about it, I was like, and this happened like last Monday. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, did she really think that this was the way to go? She really thought that was the way to do it. She poisoned that man. Like, them people weren't gonna see poison in his autopsy. Come on. We gotta be quicker than that. You can't be sitting up here thinking that that's cool. That's all I'm saying. It's not cool. It's not cool. You can't think that every action doesn't have a reaction, and it always does. There's always something that's going to be beneficial to the next person when you're trying to rob somebody else. I'm so blown away by that. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot going on, and we're gonna get through another one. The next one, a Florida teen is facing 30 years in prison. Um, a Florida teen who beat teacher over a Nintendo Switch pleads guilty and is facing 30 years in prison. Now, this Florida teen, however, and I think the reason why I said that it may not always be a black and white situation, but this particular situation is a little bit rough for me to understand about why, man, she's not dead. She's not on her way to her deathbed or anything. He should get a charge for what he did, but 30 years for beating her. They gave this young man 30 there. He's facing 30 years. So hopefully he has a good lawyer. A teen who beat a teacher over a video game is facing 30 years in prison. Earlier this year, a teenager went viral for beating a teacher over a Nintendo Switch. And he's simply because the teacher confiscated his device. Yeah. Simply because the teacher confiscated his device and the student turned violent. As a result, the young man ended up attacking the woman. After that, the woman was left unconscious, putting the student in significant legal trouble. Ever since, the young man has been behind bars. On Monday, he had his day in court and he pleaded guilty to all charges. Okay. Now, pleading guilty does not mean that he deserved 30 years. So let's keep going. Let's see why they're feeling like he deserves 30 years, because I'm just trying to figure out how they came up with that synopsis. Um, most people have pointed out how much the school system has changed over the past 2 decades. And they're basically saying that now kids are allowed to have cellular devices and they're able to bring these phones to school. They're able to have all these different devices at school. First of all, school used to never allow students to have cell phones or any consoles like a Switch. However, most schools have loosened their rules when it comes to the phones, but something like a Switch used to never be allowed in the first place. Back in February of this year, a disturbing video went viral. The video showed a 6'6" male Florida high school student, he was a black male, attacking an educational professional after the woman took the boy's Nintendo Switch. Okay. In addition, the boy was placed in police custody this week. The teen went to court, pled guilty, and faced up 30 years. What are y'all believing that 30 years is fair for this? What's y'all take on that? How do you feel about a young man getting 30 years for kicking a teacher's ass? When we done seen where teachers have beat on these kids, we have seen reverse effects of this. And I don't think anybody has ever been offered the longevity of 30 years. Not something that they were facing. I don't think I ever recall someone facing 30 years. I don't recall that. I've seen a lot of times where some of these kids who have committed murder get 20 years, or they get manslaughter. Because I was even really super duper pissed off about the dude in New York that killed that 14-year-old boy and injured 6 other people, and they offering him manslaughter, or yeah, manslaughter. Somebody dead. It's a child, and they're offering a 22-year-old manslaughter for that. So we have seen that there are different things that happen that should probably actually be a 30-year sentence. But this, a young man, a teenager too, he's been locked up since it happened. So they're definitely treating him as he's an adult. But we talk about 30 years. 30 years, y'all. And yes, chances are that while he's in prison, he'll probably have a harder life. Chances are. But these people don't care about that. That's why it's so important that you are teaching your children that there are consequences out there for their actions, that may not be, they may not even be actually being charged for what they did. They just may be being charged because they look a certain type of way, or because another kid did something similar to what they're getting charged with. But everything ain't always about that. When you go to get charged, when you go to get tried, it ain't always about what you did. It could be a situation that's to where people just tired of dealing with these type of situations, and then the judge decided to throw the book at you. Because 30 years, unconscious don't mean dead. Unconscious still mean alive. And because they said that she came, they brought her too. So I'm really blown away by the whole concept of 30 years. That blew my mind. That really did. That really did. And another conversation I put up I've been told I've been told that I'm very, very controversial sometimes with my topics and the things that I say. And I'm cool with that because I don't mind that. But what I will say is this. I put up a topic today on social media, and that topic drew it brought out a lot of single parents. What is this comment? Chat for zombies. Okay. All right, Ipa. So I put up a post today on my social media page, and I put up a topic basically saying that for years I made the father of my kids look really, really good. Like for 20 years, because my oldest daughter is 20 years old. For 20 years, I've allowed the person who I created children with to get the same respect and garner the same appreciation and the same enthusiasm and the same encouragement that was dedicated mostly to me. But I allowed it to be said because it, to me, in my defense, is that I'm not here to make another person look bad for their lack of. So my post was basically an appreciation post for myself. I don't care how anybody else felt about it, but I was giving my own self appreciation for doing what I did and holding on and standing in the paint and doing what I'm supposed to do and making sure I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be because my children needed me. It don't matter where somebody else decided to be or where they decided to go. I was there. So I put that up, and I immediately knew that saying something about it would make people feel like, oh, you about to discredit somebody. I'm not here for that. But what I do not care about is what another person looks like. Either you do it or you don't. Either you did it or you didn't. Either you stood or you fell. Either you kept going or you quit. My point is I never quit. I never gave up. So when I'm talking about something that affected me and made me feel good about what I did and how I did it and why I kept moving and what I'm going to continue to do. That's about me. I don't give a damn about nobody else. But seems to me, and as soon as you say something about somebody and point out something that bothered you about somebody else's lack of, now you the guilty party. And I was sitting there thinking about that. I was like, you know what? People always want to throw salt at the person who stayed in the paint. You know what I'm saying? I had a show about this, the parent who stayed months ago. So I know for a fact that people who do their job don't get told great job often because they expected to do their job. That's right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? We are expected to do that, but everybody's expected to do it. All the expectations shouldn't just fall on that one person. They're all expected to stand in the paint for that child, for those children. And plenty of times, there were times where I wanted to crawl in a hole and say, you know what, not today. I don't want to deal with it today. Could I? No. There were plenty of times that I wanted to say, I discern in my spirit that I should go and write this person up and put them on papers. But did I? No. There are plenty of times when I should have just did what my heart said do, what my brain said do, instead of what I felt like was going to come back and eat on me because of what my kids might feel, or how everybody else is feeling while I'm feeling what I'm feeling, because I have a right to feel too. You understand what I'm saying? So when people decide to tell you that you should not speak on certain things because it's going to make another person look bad, know that person is who made themselves look bad. Because any day, and you are right, LaShondra, patting yourself on the back is essential, because you must remember that you are the same human that pushed that child out. You are the same human that inserted your sperm into creating that child. When you decide that at any point you can say, and you looked upon as somebody who still is doing what they're supposed to be doing because the person is too big of a person to say, no, you're not. You ain't do this. You weren't there for that. I'm not going through a list of things you missed. I'm not saying anything. But when I do say something, it's to make me feel good about who I am and where I stood and where I never gave up. To hear people be so oftenly told, too often we hold ourselves accountable without holding. Exactly. And that's my whole point. We put a standard out there for ourselves, but that other person decide that they're not a part of that standard. And then if you stand on your 2 feet and be like, you know what? Today is the day that I decide to say something. Now you shunning somebody. Well, what? You don't think that what the child feels? See, because in most times we're trying to protect the child. When we don't say certain things, when we continue to do things, when we make sure that they have everything that they're supposed to have, even if it take you 1,000,000 days to get it done, you're still doing it. So I commend men, women, grandfathers, grandparents, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, whoever took that stance to stay. You are commended. Being a parent is not an easy thing. People just want to have kids and just have kids. But baby, it takes a lot to be a solidified parent in that child's life. It takes a lot. It's not just getting up, going to work. It's not just making sure that they eat at night. Parenting comes with a whole stream line of shit. And you eat and crow more than you are appreciated, especially from people who are not there to see exactly what it is that you have to go through. Being a 100% stable-minded person that's taking care of children, you deserve every pat on the back. You deserve every win. Just like them losses you had to take to create these wins, you deserve them all. Don't allow anybody to make you feel so small in your accountability that it doesn't work to make sure that you feel good about yourself. Because what you do to take care of you and how you do it to take care of those children, because while you're taking care of those children, you still got to take care of you. And there's plenty of times that we do not take care of ourselves. We are struggled or thrown to the side to make sure that the children are taken care of. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like speaking up or saying something about another person doing or not doing should make you feel less than. You're supposed to always address what's bothering you. Even if you don't address it directly to that person, talking to a counselor, speaking to somebody who can actually make sure that you're okay is the way to do it. I don't know what it is that I'm not sure of exactly. I'm not, that he called me, so I didn't know what he wanted there. So check on him, call him back and see. It's so many times that we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves just as much as we taking care of those children. So that's my whole point of my post today. I'm going to look out for Shelby, and I'm just getting to a point to where I'm doing that. It took my daughter to go off to college. It took my youngest child to graduate for me to see exactly what I was missing when I was neglecting me, because I was so full of making sure that they were good. You gotta learn early. For new parents, all parents, even if you're going through it now and you're a parent, make sure you always take out a time or a piece of time and a piece of space and time to make sure that you're doing for you just as much as you're doing for those children. Because if you're not well, they're not well. Your kids can see when you're going through it. They can tell, they can feel it. Your energy different. You're a little off. You know what I'm saying? You can feel when things are not right with you. That's why you have to speak up about it. Talking out loud assists us in really processing our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I believe solely in that. I talk to myself a lot. I don't get no responses, but I do talk to myself, and I've done that. And LaShonda, we've had these conversations. You're a very good therapist. We've had these conversations. We have had the conversations that has led to tears, because nobody has that understanding because you may be going through something differently and totally different than what the next parent may be going through. But the point is that somebody understands, somebody gets it. And if you continue to be that person that's like, oh, it don't bother me because I'm a single parent, it don't bother me that I'm going through this, it don't bother me, that's a lie. You're tricking yourself into believing a fantasy world of lies. Even if you never speak out on a personal situation, I've never done it. I don't go on Facebook. I don't use social media to broadcast or tear nobody down. To be perfectly honest, I don't give a damn what you do and what you don't do, because my child's still going to have, I'm still going to have, they still going to have, we still straight, everybody going to be good. That's how I look at it. But when it boils down to it, when I'm having those stressful days, when I feel like that you're supposed to come in and step in and relieve me and give me some type of retreat, you weren't there. So if you weren't there for me through the times that my kids needed it, you weren't there for them at that same moment. They definitely can tell. Mine called me out. Telling you. And they ain't calling you out like, you need a hug. They ain't saying that. It's some it's some other ways that they come in. I'm like, mom, you acting real funky today because your attitude ain't matching up with how you saying you feel. Well, because they'll ask you, are you all right? And then you like, yeah, I'm all right. But your voice different. You don't even want to cook the night because you so stressed out about something that went on with you at work, but you ain't got no relief system. You ain't got no relief system. You tired of calling your family, or you tired of leaning on your friends when they got a father or they got a mother that's not doing their job. You tired. Everybody deserves some relief. So I'm telling you, if you feel guilty by saying where another person is lacking, do not. Do not. Don't ever feel guilty for calling out a motherfucker who lacks. That's where I was being too strong at. I said it to myself a number of occasions. Girl, you being way too strong. Girl, lighten up. Give yourself some grace. And girls, difficult. Raising girls ain't easy. I know raising boys ain't either, but it's a difficult situation when you out here trying to be a strong-minded person, but your daughter seeing you whimper and your kids seeing you going through this. Call their ass out. And it don't got to be on social media, but you better let them know. It was plenty of times that I should have said things. It was plenty of times that I should have spoke up about where I was falling short when I needed somebody else to help lift me up. It was plenty of times. But those silent moments are what really kept me going, because I talked myself through so many days, y'all. Ain't nobody gonna make me feel guilty about nothing that I did to take care of mine. Nobody. If you're a sucker, you're a sucker. If you ain't do what you're supposed to do, you ain't do what you're supposed to do. It's just that simple. If you don't want to be a sucker, do your fucking job. It don't never end. I'm 41 years old and I'm still having days where I be wanting to call my mama and cry and be like, you know what? I just had a bad fucking day. You ain't finna never make me feel bad about nothing that I'm doing when I'm being a good person to these children that I help create with another soul. Everybody got a job. Everybody got a responsibility. And it's the people who want to sit up and bury their responsibilities, but out here shining. You everywhere but here. Fuck that. No. I bet my kids not raised to be silent. I bet they speak their mind. I bet they're gonna tell you everything they feel. I bet they're gonna let you know what's going on with them. When we don't hold others accountable, we are teaching our daughters and sons to operate in the same manner, and that is exactly what mine will never do. You better speak. That's exactly what I'm saying. We have to speak and let these children see realness. It's not being real by covering up stuff now. Like, it might feel real, but it's not. It's not. It might feel good for the moment, but it's not, y'all. It's not. That's even in relationships too. If y'all showing them broken relationships while you raising them, it'll show. Because we all learning every day. We trying to do what's right every single day. We try to break it. We got to break these bad habits and cycles. Precisely. We trying to drop what we've learned and what we've been taught so that we can actually have a real life. That's what we're trying to do. Because if they're seeing constant broken situations, they're going to walk into broken situations. They're going to deal with broken situations. I'm seeing children to this day right now where my kids might share a screenshot of somebody on social media saying where the girl got her eye bandaged up because she feel like he loved her. And then in the moment the caption say, if he ain't, this is what happened when he went through my phone. You proud of that? You done seen that? And that's what we got to change. So if we don't want our kids to go through broken situations, we got to show them real shit. That's exactly what we got to do. We got to stop thinking that covering up stuff is going to be what saved them. No, they really need to see what's really going on. They need to know that everybody faces these type of things if they have the wrong type of people around. Some of the people who we created kids with ain't worth a damn. So they need to see that. I'm not trying to down talk you or make you feel a certain type of way because I let you lay with me twice. Just because we're in a relationship, we kept babies and we did that. We did all that. You know what I'm saying? But the point remains is that when you start seeing stuff being negligent, bad habits start to show, get the fuck on. Don't keep that around you. Don't let that be something that your kids grow up and see. And now they think it's okay. Because that's exactly where it is. That's exactly what's happening. We got a lot of men, young boys, bringing babies into the world. They acting just like they broken fathers. They got a lot of young girls bringing babies into the world, and they've seen their mothers broken, and they doing the same thing. They having the same situations happen. Grandmothers having to step in, grandparents, aunts, and uncles having to step in to change the situation for them. We got to change it. We got to be that change for our next generation, because we see how fucked up they are already. The next generation is already showing us that the leadership is dead. So when I decide that I'm going to speak up about something and somebody say, don't say that, be quiet, sir, don't put that person out, keep your person up, fuck that. I ain't said enough, if we being honest. I got a whole lot to say, but I it's inside of me. I don't got to deal with it like that. No, I've said I know when to throw certain things out there. I can feel the waters and know when they warm enough for me to add my little 2-piece. Don't be silent no more. Speak up. Speak your mind. Don't sit around here and let them kids see y'all still faltering. Because it's way more bad stuff going on in this world that our kids can walk into, that our kids can be shunned by. We raising black children. We raising children who are automatically told that they already got 0% chance of being anybody. So at this point, we have to change the narrative. If you don't change it and you don't incorporate a goodness and positive stuff into their lives, then we know that our kids are going to suffer. I'm telling you. So, put the goodness out there for your kids. My daughter walking past me looking crazy because I guess she got to go do something she don't want to do. But the point is that she has goodness embedded in her. So guess what she's going to do? She's going to go do it. She's a good kid. All right, y'all. My last topic of the day is New York City police identify suspect in fatal shooting of a father and son over a noise complaint. I don't know if y'all noticed that a 6-year-old had a gun put on him in New York recently, because he put a bag on somebody's porch, and his mom realized 2 minutes later that was the wrong porch. The man came outside, pointed a gun at a 6-year-old. And of course, he got the police called on him, but that also led to a father and son fatal shooting. So the man got out, found out where these people were, and killed the daddy and the little boy. So when I say constantly that decisions that we make and show our children that are important, it's important. We really got to be better at what we put out there in the atmosphere, y'all, because I'm gonna tell you something. When that particular thing happened with that little boy getting that gun pointed at his head, we probably would have been fighting, scuffling, everything about mine. Ain't just no police being called, because where are you? You sitting in the car when you calling the police, or where you at? I'm that parent that's willing to go out by mine. I know everybody's scared. All of us got little scary tendencies and stuff, but when it boils down to action, and most of the people I know strong enough to jump in the paint and take full care of that situation when it comes to their children. I don't know too many people that won't. I really don't. So that really bothered me that a parent was still sitting in the car when that man pulled that gun on that child. I'm blown by that, because you 2 feet away and you ain't getting out. You got to shield that's a 6-year-old child. What is he gonna do to protect himself? So when I said earlier that it's not just black people, just white people no more that's doing dumb shit out here, y'all. It's a lot of us. Between the drugs, the mental illnesses, just issues that people have, lifestyle choices, atmosphere, the oxygen ain't all that. It's a lot of things that's playing on whether or not we It's a lot of things that play on what happens when we respond to certain things. Like it ain't always just a person had a bad day. It ain't always just you need to change how you think or you need to work harder. It's not always that. Sometimes people are pushed to the edge because you push them to the damn edge. It could be just that simple. You don't know how many times a person said, "Leave me alone. Stop calling me. Don't mess with my child. Don't say nothing to her." You don't know how many times a person trying to protect something before they get to that last moment. They like, you know what? Fuck it. This where we at now. You don't know how hard it is to hold back some of that emotion sometimes, especially when you already going through. And then you got somebody want to push it to the edge like that. Like it's never, we have gotten to the point where now it's no longer about the color of your skin when it comes to your actions. It's just what's going on today. It's what it is. It's not a race factor. It's the culture. It's just where we are now. But honestly, Shalita, for a long time, it's not always been about race. It's not, you know what I'm saying? We see a lot of racist situations, but it's not all, 50% of the time it's not about race. 50% of the time it's about money, poverty, what you can get from the lower class people so that the upper class people could still be making it. It's not always about that. It's about money. A lot, just most times it's about that. We've seen that. They'll tell us that even when it comes to when you voting. They target certain groups and populations because they need what they want from you. But for the most part, it ain't about what you look like. It's about what you got. So we gotta stop looking at things as seeing race as the outcome. We know for a fact, because like I said, this child, this 6-year-old, ain't have nothing to do with that bag being put on the wrong porch. His mama had him put it out there. That it's the wrong house. Found out it's the wrong house. The man opened up his door with a gun out at a child, bro. Mental fucked up sometimes. And what in his thought process of what? Oh, somebody playing on my porch. That's what he told the police. So we got to stop looking at it as if it's just, oh, I just want to hurt black people, or I just want to do this to white people, or I want to hurt Mexicans or whatever. Sometimes it's strictly about what you have versus who you are. And it is the class of people. So I want us to think about that when we're thinking about raising our children and the information we're giving them, where they're getting the information from. The father and son were murdered over a noise complaint. They said it was a noise complaint. He said that the child coming to his door caused a disturbance. They were giving something to one of their friends, and they were at the wrong house. He got arrested. When he bailed out, he found out where they lived, and he murdered the father and the son. So yeah. I just it really bothered me when I saw the story, because I was like, this can't be real. But yeah, New York be having a lot going on. Florida do too. They say that we got the two craziest states. So yes, ma'am. Again, that's what's, and another thing about that, Shalita, is that's becoming the norm. We starting to see people get murdered for foolishness as a normal thing now. So not a lot of people are not even like shocked anymore, but I'm still shocked. I'm shocked every time a murder happened. I don't care if it's 5 days, 2 days ago, and we just had a shooting a day before that. I'm still shocked that every time something happens. I'm never going to make myself okay with this and make it a normal thing. It's never going to be a normal thing for me, ever. So the takeaway from today's show, the first story was a woman poisoned her husband to death because he won a $30 million. A woman poisoned her partner to death because he won a $30 million inheritance, and all they was a common law couple. In North Dakota, don't even have anything to say about common law marriages. They don't even support them. So she killed her long-term boyfriend because he was going to break up with her, or she thought he was going to break up with her because of his $30 million inheritance. That was our first story. Yeah, my uncle told me this exact thing. I sent my son to knock on his door. He said, I'm family, but never send your child at someone's door because you just don't know what folks thinking. Exactly. And we talking about a 6-year-old little boy. You should have got out that car. That blew me. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, this man got a gun to your child head and you sitting in the car on the phone with the police. Baby, I could still be on the phone with the police, but I'm out that car. That blew me. The second story was a Florida teen who beat a woman, beat his teacher over her taking his Nintendo Switch. And the discussion was, did you feel like 30 years was a fair sentence? Or do you feel like he was over sentenced? And there he's facing 30 years. And of course, the third story was about my Facebook post that I put on Facebook today. And, you know, people say, don't put your personal business out. And I did not see that as being a personal a personal statement, like, oh yeah, as a matter of fact. No, it was just literally, I did this, I said this, I hid this from the world. Everybody got to look at you in the same, and I think that's what my biggest issue is that everybody got to look at you in the same light as they got to look at me, and you ain't do nothing. So I had an issue with you getting credit for something that I did. And I made a post about it. I said, you owe me your life. And I meant that. So anybody offended by that, you go be offended in a corner. But I know men that take care of their kids by themselves on every level. I'm in a relationship with one. So I know that for a fact. And I also know women who've done the same thing. My mama did it. My friends did it. My cousins did it. My family did it. And just because we were silently raising our children and not speaking down on the people who we created those children with, don't mean that we didn't have it hard. Don't mean that we didn't face trials and tribulations. But when you speak up and say something about giving yourself one of these right here, the world want to look at you and shun you because you patting yourself on the back. Anybody gonna get in a corner, bro? You know exactly what I'm talking about. You talking about I ain't getting in corners. Get in a damn corner. Get in the corner, because I meant it. Anything, and because I know for a fact that men do it. I'm just saying, I'm dead serious about that. I would never tell a man, don't say that. Don't say that. I don't give a damn. You speak how you feel, especially when you've been quiet long enough. My kid's grown now. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to say now. I raised them. I did that. All that. That's all me. If they fall down and bump their head 300 times, guess who's going to help them get back up again 300 times? Me. So until they walk off this earth, or until I'm no longer able to do it, I will always be in their corner. If they don't got nobody else, they got me. And I don't want nobody on this line to forget that. You guys did and are doing what you're supposed to do. For the motherfuckers who ain't, go sit in the corner. Because you don't deserve no credit for nothing you ain't do. And I mean that. You don't deserve no credit for nothing you ain't do. I don't want you standing beside me. Too many times I let you stand there. Just because they got your last name. I don't play that. I don't play like that no more. I'm healed. I'm good. But my kids will never, ever, ever go through the things that I had to go through. Point blank, period. I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Y'all are very much so appreciated. I promise you. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for jumping on, giving me a few minutes of your time. It was much, much needed. It made me feel real good today. Thank y'all so much. I will see y'all next Wednesday. Y'all have a great evening. Eat some good food tonight. Sip on a glass of wine if you had a long day. Enjoy it. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you ain't worked hard enough to take that wine. All right? Y'all have a good one now. Be good. Peace.